Welcome back from the break, everyone, and we're talking about mental health. Today with us on the set we have Dr. Shersha, who's been with us before. Thank you very much for joining us. And I am told that mental health issues are more prevalent in women. Why is that?
Well, more prevalent in women, I'm not sure that's a fact.
Okay, okay, well that's good to know.
More prevalent in women.
That's a good thing to know.
But one thing I'll say, that there are more psychiatric disorders during pregnancy, and men are not pregnant, so you can say that
so by default?
Yeah.
By default.
Because we all know that 85% women suffers from postpartum blues.
That's right.
And postpartum blues is some sort of mild kind of depression.
That's right.
Every woman suffers. And usually 99.9% patients, they are all right after a few days, you know. And but some of the women in this category, they develop postpartum psychosis and postpartum depression. These are the serious condition.
Okay, which is worrying.
Which is worrying. The other thing is, women living in our society, in our communities, they are not enjoying a life of all human beings. They are deprived.
Okay.
So if you are deprived, society is hostile towards you. So you automatically vulnerable for the psychiatric disorder.
You are.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So in that context, maybe you say that women are suffering more psychiatric disorder. This is not true.
No, what you're saying is in fact, what I understand from what you're saying is it's not that women within themselves as a gender suffer from more psychiatric issues. If they suffer from more psychiatric issues, it is an outcome of their nurturing and the environment within which they live.
That's what I want to say. So you can't say that women are more powerful than the...
No. I think to make that clarification is very important, because women aren't nuts.
That's right.
On the other hand, men don't have babies, so how would they know? You know, why don't they do it and then figure it out? You know, do the math, guys. So yes, I think that's a very...
If you remember, Tom Cruise said, one of the, I forget her name, she was pregnant and then she suffered serious postpartum depression, and she was going here and there, and Tom Cruise made a very stupid
joke about
comment that she should go to Scientology, and you know, and this is nonsense. You know, there are some very good kind of medical help available for this woman, and these women don't need to go to mazars and peers and shrine to get help for the psychiatric disorders.
Yeah, I think what's overlooked though is that when you are pregnant and you are going through that syndrome, there's a huge fluctuation in your hormonal level.
That's right.
And you know, within your system, depending on your maturity level, what kind of nutritional
take a very simple. I'll give you a very simple scenario.
Yeah.
There's a one girl. She's pregnant after 2-3 years of marriage. The whole family and everyone has attention towards her.
That's right.
She's thinking all the time. Nine months she's pregnant. She's going to have a baby. Everyone is coming to her, talking to her, asking her, and suddenly she delivered a baby. Male or female. If it is male, everyone is so happy.
Yeah.
Everyone is so happy, including herself and her husband. And everyone was thinking that she is going to have a male baby. Now she has a female baby.
Oh boy.
So half of the family is already disturbed. Our first child is a female. You know, that's very sad. And now the whole attention, which was
focusing
towards
on her,
suddenly gone to the baby.
Yeah.
And she is left alone. Number one. Number two, suddenly these very strong estrogen, progesterone, steroid hormones, which were produced by the placenta, are just gone down. So
they're gone.
It's natural that she will have some kind of postpartum blues. And postpartum blues are normal. She will cope with it. She will be normal within 3-4 days. But system and community is saying, oh, you are a female. Everyone is coming and doing some type of condolence.
I was going to say, they're all condoling with you. Why?
And that's bad. That makes her very bad.
So we're reinforcing a very negative view.
Like abortion and miscarriage. You know, I mean, more than 50% women suffer from miscarriage. Even she doesn't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And miscarriage and abortion are very serious issues. And it's like a sometime late abortion, like a death in the family. Man doesn't understand. Neither the husband, neither the brother or other male members. You know, this woman, she was preparing for this pregnancy, and suddenly she lost this pregnancy. Even it's as early as 16 weeks, 18 weeks,
Doesn't
and 22
matter.
weeks, and 26 weeks.
Yeah.
But she made a plan, and now she is depressed. So this kind of thing is there, and we are not trained to deal this kind of problems. Neither our doctors, nurses, midwives. So
why?
Forget about the people.
But why?
Because our healthcare system doesn't care about these problems. Doesn't care about this problem. Our medical education system has no time to discuss these kinds of problems. Our nurses, our midwives, our medical students, they are not trained to deal with women with this kind of problem. They are not. These are the taboos. Nobody wants to talk about abortion. And when you talk about abortion and miscarriage, immediately they think that we are talking about some kind of criminal and some dangerous kind of activity. Abortion is not dangerous kind of activity. As I said, this is a natural selection. The nature induced abortion in many pregnancies where the pregnancy is not compatible with the normal life, so women abort.
Yeah, and then if they do come to full term, you'll end up having a disabled child.
Disabled child.
In which case, it's a pressure on the mother, the child, and the extended family.
Yeah. Then another thing, intrauterine death. Intrauterine death is a very serious problem.
Yes, stillborn.
Suddenly she has a death in utero at 38 weeks of gestation. Now her whole life is upside down.
It is.
Nobody understands. So our medical system is not catered to deal with this kind of problem.
Right,
so these women suffer
because we're a patriarchal society.
Maybe that's the one reason. And this one reason, and the other reason is as a whole our medical care system is not directed towards the majority of the population. Poor woman is included in that majority of the population. You know, it's not.
So what is it geared for then, if it's not geared for that?
Well, when we are talking about the psychiatric disorder in women during pregnancy or otherwise, before going to that, I want to talk something about this premenstrual syndrome.
Okay, yeah, good old PMS.
We all know that premenstrual syndrome is another thing which exists.
It's a reality.
And about 85% women will suffer some kind of problems, some kind of very mild, and sometimes about 10% women will suffer very serious kind of premenstrual syndrome. Our male members of the society, they do know about the menstruation. How many boys are told about the menstruation in their school days?
I can't understand this because brothers and sisters grow up together, but in the house.
Nobody.
No, I know this. I remember when I was a child, and I used to go to other friends, my girlfriends' homes, you know, and if one of us had our cycle during the month, you know, we were 12 or 13 or 14, you had to hush it up. You had to hush it up.
That's right.
Why did you have to hush it up? You need painkillers. You need a hot water bottle. You are taking Anaprox or whatever it is that you need to take for your prostaglandin control. Or maybe you need to take a Nurofen-based painkiller to deal with the headaches as well as the cramping. And you get water retention, and your feet swell, and your back hurts.
Yeah, and nobody wants to talk about it. And nobody wants to talk about the premenstrual syndrome.
Why?
And when the woman suffers from premenstrual syndrome and nobody wants to talk to her, this make her psychiatrically ill after some time.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know what you're saying is real. I know it happens because I see it even the most so-called educated people. They're educated, but it's only academic. There's nothing of tolerance and acceptance or embracing in there.
And when people like us, at the moment I'm president of Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology Pakistan, and we are demanding that this kind of health education should be available in schools. When we talk about this kind of health education, immediately many people will come and say, oh, you are talking about the sex education. This is not sex education. And what is sex education? I mean, telling men and women that what kind of body they have, what kind of hormone they have, what kind of changes they have in their life.
Or they can expect.
And what will happen if this will happen, and what will happen if that will happen.
Yeah, consequences.
This is not sex education, this is simple health education.
It's biology.
And if you know this kind of thing, 50% of so-called psychiatric problem will be solved at home level.
To everybody listening, solved at home level. Dr. Shersha, stay with us. We have to go to break now. After the break, we'll be back. We're talking about women and mental health. And you know what? Mostly it's our society responsible for women's mental health. Live with that one. It is not available to those who are underprivileged, and it is the underprivileged and the downtrodden. And in Pakistan, that target tends to be women and children because they go undefended.
The issue is education and health, and we should pursue our government. You should provide basic education, primary education, basic healthcare and primary healthcare.
And therefore there is an interactive level between all of these animals, human beings, women, men, at a very, very basic level.
We all know that pregnancy is responsible for maternal death and women's morbidity, and that morbidity include psychiatric disorder, postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression and postpartum blues.
Even at that level, women are treated, as you said, as if there were some kind of monsters.
All these women are living a normal life, and in that normal life, the normal education is not available.